Welcome to Part B of Module 2 of the Club Sports Online Officers Training. I'm still Ryan Bradshaw from the Club Sports office. Part B will be covering booking facility space, both on and off campus, and hosting home events. Speaking of those facilities, let's talk about booking them for games and practices. The big advantage of being a club sport is that you can reserve recreation facilities free of charge, as long as the facility is appropriate for the desired activity. Times are limited as our facilities are really busy, so anticipate a maximum of 3 2-hour practices per week, plus the opportunity for some competition times on the weekend. Clubs wanting to request use of Mason Rec facilities do so by completing a practice or game request form on IM Leagues. Do not simply email or call the office, it needs to be on the form. Clubs have a priority period in which they can reserve space before any other RSO on campus and before the general public. Those priority dates are August 1st for the fall semester, although practice requests should be in before you leave for summer break, December 1 for the spring semester, and April 1 for the summer semester, if your club is operating over the summer. You can still reserve space after this date, but you'll have to fit into the limited times we have available at that point. To find your practice request form, go to Forms, find the practice request form. In here, representative's name, so this will be you, name of your club, your email address and phone number. Practice start date, so if we're requesting space for an entire semester, we'd go September 1 until November 15th, but if it's just an extra date that you want to add a practice, just put in practice start date and end date of being the same date. Primary season, when this request is for, first choice, second choice, practice start and end times. Plan on this being a 2-hour block. Do not request any times longer than 2 hours. Also, do not put in like 5 to 7 first choice and 5:15 to 7:15 second choice. Please have them be 2 alternating times. Typically, our practices are going to be in the 5 to 7, 7 to 9, and 9 to 11 range. This allows us to fit in 3 different groups to have practices by the time our fields close at 11 p.m. If we go 4 to 6, 6 to 8, 8 to 10, that then leaves 1 hour from 10 to 11 where the fields sit empty and it's kind of pointless. There's multiple fields that you are requesting or multiple spaces. Select all of them that apply. Dates that you would like to have your practices on, and if you need any clarifying comments here, such as on Mondays we want to practice 5 to 7s, but Thursdays we want 7 to 9, please put that in the comment section and then submit the form for review. Game request forms, again under the form section, click on the form, again your name, club name, email, and phone number. Event date, so if it's just a single day for a game, enter that date here. If it's a weekend tournament, put all the dates that apply. Opponent, who you're playing. If there's 2 teams, please put them in. If it's a tournament, just write tournament, and we anticipate having 8 teams coming. Arrival time, game start time, game end time, and departure time. So arrival time, please don't request any more than 1 hour before the event start time, and departure time, request no more than 30 minutes after the scheduled end times. How many people you expect to be there? So this is more so for a tournament. If we are anticipating a lot of people, we might need more staff out at the fields. What facilities you want to request, and then in this comment section you can add in, if you select multiple fields, go like, we'd prefer to be on field 3, but we can deal with field 4 or 5 if need be. And if it's a tournament, you can select all that apply, but say that we only need 3 out of these 4 fields that we selected, so we can go from there. You can also request field 1 for tournaments. That's not currently on this list, but you can type that in as a special request. And if you need any chairs, tables, flip charts for keeping score for your tournament, enter that in your special request and then submit the form. All of our facility schedules are now located online. So go to our website, clubsports.gmu.edu. You might find the Club Sports facility schedules right on the front homepage. If not, go to the facility schedules on the left-hand side of the page. This will then bring up schedules for every one of our facilities. So, say your club wants to practice on Field 3, you can go to Field 3 schedule. Easiest way to actually view the full schedule is to go by week. So we'll pull up the first week of school. You can see on Friday, September 2nd, Field 3 is currently open from 5 to 9 p.m. You can then submit your practice request, knowing that the facility will be ready and is available for you. If you have facilities reserved, you need to use those facility times appropriately. As mentioned, our facilities are very busy during the academic year, and we don't want the facility space to go to waste if your club does not show up for your reserved time and another club could have used it. As such, all clubs need to cancel a practice reservation at least 48 hours in advance if you're not going to use that time. If there's severe inclement weather, that time is cut down to 4 hours in advance for outdoor facilities only. This allows us to try and book another group into that time space or cancel the scheduled athletic trainer and facility staff people, saving our program money. There are consequences for not canceling your practice time in advance or not having at least 30% of your members show up to appropriately use a facility you have booked. Please note that these violations cost your club money starting on the second offense, and by the third offense, your club loses all facility reservations for at least a week. For competitions, you need to cancel your reservations at least 1 week in advance of the competition date, or 4 hours in advance for outdoor reservations if there's inclement weather. This includes reducing the scheduled time of your competition by more than 2 hours. So if you have a long tournament and all of a sudden we only have 3 teams now and it's a much shorter tournament, you need to let us know at least 1 week in advance. An exception can be made if you are able to show that your opponent canceled or no-showed the game, not your club. There are consequences for not showing up for a competition, as you can see below. If any facilities are closed due to inclement weather, we will send out a notification through IM Leagues as soon as possible. This typically does not happen until 4 p.m. as we try to wait as long as possible to cancel practice times in case the weather clears up or in case the grass fields are not too wet. Please make sure that you and your members sign up to receive text alerts via IM Leagues. Every facility closure notification we send will be by email and by text alert. If the university is closed for any reason, all club practices and competitions are automatically canceled. As we schedule athletic trainers for all home competitions, both on and off campus, we need to know at least a week in advance about your competition. If you book the competition with us under 1 week in advance, your club will need to cover the full cost of the athletic trainer, which is $35 per hour, as these hours will be outside of the schedule that we will have set up for them for that week. Requests for recreation facilities must be received by the club sports office at least 5 business days in advance to make sure we can get the times booked for you. A quick important reminder, following each club event, including practices and competitions both on and off campus, you need to complete the club attendance form using the Google document. Clubs are able to use non-recreation facilities on campus, most of which are free. To book these non-recreation spaces, like the Johnson Center kiosks or Dewberry Hall, you need to book them on your own using 25 Live. 25 Live training must be completed by May 1st for the upcoming academic year. If you don't complete the training, you are not able to use any facilities other than recreation facilities. More info on 25 Live trainings will be shared with you each April. Since all club members are also recreation members, anytime they're entering an indoor recreation facility, they need to check in with the front desk. The Club Sports Office does have some limited storage space available on campus for clubs to use. Our primary equipment storage space is rack room 2212, located upstairs by the Cage Gym. Clubs must email a list of up to 4 members who can access the room on your club's behalf. Only these 4 members may remove any equipment from the room by asking the rack manager on duty for access. Some notes about food and beverages for on-campus club activities. All food and beverages sold on campus must be pre-packaged or ordered from a Mason-approved caterer. You can find approved caterers at approvedcatering.gmu.edu. No homemade food or baked goods can be served at any on-campus event. Food and beverages served on campus can also be ordered through Sodexo. Catering.gmu.edu is their website. As we reach our final few slides in this video, let's talk about hosting a home competition. For almost all club-hosted events on campus, clubs are responsible for setting up and taking down the facility within your facility booking time. This includes setting up tables, cones, goals, etc. Athletic trainers will be scheduled by Mason Rec at a price of $15 per hour per trainer for all home competitions as long as the competition is booked at least a week in advance. For bookings made less than a week before the competition, the club will be required to cover the full $35 per hour cost of the athletic trainer. For club-hosted events off campus, clubs are responsible for finding a suitable venue and making arrangements with the club sports office to secure the reservation of the facility. Mason Rec will provide athletic trainers for off-campus competitions using the same guidelines as for on-campus competitions. A club-hosted tournament is defined as a competition with 4 or more teams or schools competing. For club-hosted tournaments, on or off campus, clubs must have a meeting with the club sports office at least 1 week before the event to discuss final details for the event. This includes tournament schedules, collections of registration fees, plans for inclement weather, parking during the event, and a lot more. Clubs must also have a representative present at all times throughout the event. This is your event, and your club is in charge of making sure the event runs smoothly. Clubs must also then have a wrap-up meeting with the club sports office in the week following the event. Entry fees for tournaments should be collected by check made out to George Mason University. The check can be mailed to the club sports office's address or deposited by the visiting team to your club's account through the RAC front desk. The RAC front desk can also accept cash and credit debit card payments in person. If the opposing school requires George Mason's W-9 form in order to complete the payment, email the club sports office requesting a copy. Entry fees can also be made by credit card over the phone by calling the Assistant Director of Club Sports directly. Clubs may not accept payments using PayPal, Square, or a similar technology, as there is not a way to deposit the funds from PayPal to the club's operating account. Last but not least, if you require officials for your event, it is your responsibility to find and schedule appropriately certified officials. Many leagues have officiating associations that we need to book through, so be sure to check your league's policies. If you need help booking officials, ask the club sports office for assistance. Most officials don't work for free, so how will you be paying them? Typically, if an association schedules the officials, the association will invoice us. Ask the person who is assigning the officials how they want to be paid. Note, we can only use PayPal or Square if the association directly invoices us through PayPal or Square. If we need to pay individual officials by check, they must submit 2 documents, both of which are found on our website. An invoice for the game they worked must be submitted. Go to the club sports officials blank invoice, print this document out, and have the official handwrite in all the required info. The second document they need to submit is the Virginia-specific W-9 form. This can also be found on our website. It needs to be the Virginia-specific W-9, not the federal W-9 form. Again, print this form out and have the official handwrite in the required info. After the official completes the forms, get them back to the club sports office as soon as possible. Thank you for sitting through this training. I know it's a lot of information, but it is all very valuable and will help your year run smoothly. Part 3 of this training, Risk Management, is up next.